Hey guys, this is Chris. This is how you become the very best negotiator possible. I was thinking about what is it that I do really, really well? And it's always been negotiate, right? I'm a realtor in Southern Maryland, and I've been doing this now for many, many years. And what I've learned is basically 5 simple things that you need to think about when you're negotiating on a deal. The first one is listen. You need to listen to your client or you, and you need to understand clearly what it is that you want, right? So number 1 is knowing what you want. So the second thing is you need to list the terms. You need to know what it is that you want in those terms and need to know them clearly. They need to be defined. They need to be perfect so that you know this is my limit, both up and down. The highest price I'm gonna pay for it and what I really, really want, right? So what would be a dream price and what would be the highest I'm willing to pay. And so you gotta know that, and this could be in your in your everyday job too. Like, how much do I want to make when I'm negotiating my salary, and how much, what's the least I'm willing to take? And that's part of that is knowing your worth, right? And that's the same thing in real estate. It's like knowing what it's worth to you. Third one, I don't know how to put this, but I put it like know the limits, right? I always tell this story. It's actually really, it's kind of cool. So I had a client who had their house listed, and the house was listed for $475,000. And we received an offer on that house for $385,000, almost $100,000 off. My client was furious. He's like, forget them. I don't want to have anything to do with this. I'm not going to do it. And I said, hey, hold on, take a minute. How about we do this? Let's raise the price. Instead of saying we're going to come down on the price, we're going to raise it the same amount that you offered less. So we raised it over $500,000. So the other agent calls me up and like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. And I said, well, that's the same number you went down on price. We went up on price. Do you know we ended up selling that house for $450,000? My client was thrilled. So it's really important to know know your numbers and know where you need it to be. All right, my 4th tip is know your data, right? That's so important because you got if you're buying a car, you need to know what the other cars sell for, the same type of car. If you're buying a house, you need to know what other houses sell for like that. And you need to know it both as the negotiator and as the client. So it's really important both ways. It's not that hard. You can get the data anywhere. You can find everything online. You just have to find it. So know your data. Know what that house is worth. Know what that car is worth before you go into negotiations, because you don't want to pay more than it's worth. Most people don't. I mean, sometimes in real estate they do, but it's like I always tell people, it's like a house is worth what you're willing to pay for it, right? But I imagine cars are that way too. It's what you're willing to pay for a nice car. So number 4 is know your data. My 5th and final tip. This is a big one, guys. And I know you've seen it on TV and people have encountered this, but the 5th tip is know when to say no. Know when to walk away. Like Kenny Rogers said, know when to fold them, know when to hold them, right? It's really important to know when you've reached your point where you say no. Now, the other thing to consider after that is when you say no, the door doesn't always close. Remember, that sometimes inspires them to come back with a better offer and negotiate a better deal as well. So those are 5 simple tips, make you the very best negotiator. I hope you liked them. Please subscribe and hit the little bell, and we'll hopefully share good content with you. And we'll see you next time.